Chemical Coordination and Integration, Chapter 19. You have already learned that the neural system provides a point to point rapid coordination among organs. The neural coordination is fast but short lived, as the nerve fibers do not innervate all cells of the body, and the cellular function needs to be continuously regulated. A special kind of coordination and integration has to be provided. This function is carried out by hormones. The neural system and the endocrine system jointly coordinate and regulate the physiological function in the body. Endocrine glands and hormones. Endocrine glands lack ducts and are hence called ductless glands. Their secretion are called hormones. The classical definition of hormones as a chemical produced by endocrine glands and released into the blood and transported to a distantly located target organ has current scientific definition as follows. Hormones are non-nutrient chemicals which acts as intracellular messenger and are produced in trace amounts. The new definition covers a number of new molecules in addition to the hormones secreted by the organized endocrine glands. Invertebrates possess very simple endocrine system with few hormones, whereas a large number of chemical acts as hormone and provide coordination in the vertebrates. The human endocrine system is described here. Human endocrine system. The endocrine gland and the hormones producing diffuse tissue or cells located in different part of our body constitutes the endocrine system. Pituitary, pineal, thyroid, adrenal, pancreas, parathyroid, thymus and gonads, that is testis in males and ovary in females, are the organized endocrine bodies in our body, shown in figure 19.1. In addition to these, some other organs, example gastrointestinal tract, liver, kidney, heart, also produce hormones. A brief account of the structure and function of all major endocrine glands and hypothalamus of the human body is given in following section. The hypothalamus. As you know, the hypothalamus is the basal part of diencephalon forebrain, that is shown in figure 19.1, and it regulates a wide spectrum of body functions. It contains several group of neurosecretory cells called nuclei, which produce hormones. These hormones regulate the synthesis and secretion of pituitary hormones. However, the hormones produced by hypothalamus are of two types: the releasing hormones, that is which stimulate secretion of pituitary hormones, the inhibiting hormones, which inhibit secretion of pituitary hormones. For example, a hypothalamic hormone called gonadotropin releasing hormone, that is GnRH, stimulates the pituitary synthesis and release of gonadotropins. On the other hand, somatostatin from the hypothalamus inhibits the release of growth hormone from the pituitary. These hormones, originating in the hypothalamic neurons, pass through axons and are released from their nerve endings. These hormones reach the pituitary gland through a portal circulatory system and regulate the functions of the anterior pituitary. The posterior pituitary is under the direct neural regulation of hypothalamus, that is shown in figure 19.2. The pituitary gland. The pituitary gland is located in a bony cavity called sella turcica and is attached to the hypothalamus by a stalk, shown in figure 19.2. It is divided anatomically into adenohypophysis and a neurohypophysis. Adenohypophysis consists of two portions, that is pars distalis and pars intermedia. The pars distalis region of pituitary, commonly called anterior pituitary, produces growth hormone, prolactin, thyroid stimulating hormone, adrenocorticotropic hormone, luteinizing hormone, follicle stimulating hormone. Pars intermedia secretes only one hormone called melanocyte stimulating hormone. However, in humans, the pars intermedia is almost merged with pars distalis. Neurohypophysis, that is pars nervosa, also known as posterior pituitary, stores and releases two hormones called oxytocin and vasopressin, which are actually synthesized by the hypothalamus and are transported axonally to neurohypophysis. Over-secretion of growth hormone stimulates abnormal growth of the body, leading to gigantism, and low secretion of growth hormone result in stunted growth, resulting in pituitary dwarfism. Excess secretion of growth hormone in adults, especially in middle age, can result in severe disfigurement, especially of the face, called acromegaly, which may lead to serious complications and premature death if unchecked. The disease is hard to diagnose in the early stage and often goes undetected for many years until changes in external feature become noticeable. Prolactin regulates the growth of the mammary glands and formation of milk in them. TSH stimulates the synthesis and secretion of thyroid hormones from the thyroid gland. ACTH stimulates the synthesis and secretion of steroid hormone called glucocorticoids from the adrenal cortex. LH and FSH stimulates gonadal activity and hence are called gonadotrophins. In males, LH stimulates the synthesis and secretion of hormones called androgens from testes. In males, FSH and androgens regulate spermatogenesis. In females, LH induces ovulation of fully mature follicle, that is Graafian follicle, and maintains the corpus luteum formed from the remnants of the Graafian follicles after ovulation. FSH stimulates growth and development of the ovarian follicle in females. MSH acts on the melanocytes, that is melanin containing cells, and regulate pigmentation of the skin. Oxytocin acts on the smooth muscles of our body and stimulate their contraction. In females, it stimulates a vigorous contraction of the uterus at the time of childbirth and milk ejection from the mammary gland. Vasopressin acts mainly at the kidney and stimulates reabsorption of water and electrolytes by the distal tubules and thereby reduce loss of water through urine, that is diuresis. Hence, it is also called as antidiuretic hormone. An impairment affecting synthesis or release of ADH results in a diminished ability of the kidney to conserve water, leading to water loss and dehydration. This condition is known as diabetes insipidus. The pineal gland. The pineal gland is located on the dorsal side of forebrain. Pineal secretes a hormone called melatonin. Melatonin plays a very important role in the regulation of 24-hour, that is diurnal rhythm of our body. For example, it helps in maintaining the normal rhythms of sleep-wake cycle, body temperature. In addition, melatonin also influences metabolism, pigmentation, the menstrual cycle, as well as our defense capability. Thyroid gland. The thyroid gland is composed of two lobes which are located on either side of the trachea, that is shown in figure 19.3a. Both the lobes are interconnected with a thin flap of connective tissue called isthmus. The thyroid gland is composed of follicles and stromal tissue. Each thyroid follicle is composed of follicular cells enclosing a cavity. These follicular cells synthesize two hormones, that is tetraiodothyronin or thyroxine, which is T4, and triiodothyronin, that is T3. Iodine is essential for the normal rate of hormone synthesis in the thyroid. Deficiency of iodine in our diet result in hypothyroidism and enlargement of the thyroid gland, commonly called goiter. Hypothyroidism during pregnancy causes defective development and maturation of the growing baby, leading to stunted growth, that is cretinism. Mental mental retardation, low intelligence quotient, abnormal skin, deep mutism, etc. In adult women, hypothyroidism may cause menstrual cycle to become irregular due to cancer of the thyroid gland or due to development of nodule of the thyroid glands. The rate of synthesis and secretion of the thyroid hormone is increased to abnormal high levels, leading to a condition called hyperthyroidism, which adversely affects the body physiology. Exophthalmic goiter is a form of hypothyroidism characterized by enlargement of the thyroid gland, protrusion of the eyeballs, increased basal metabolic rate, and weight loss, also called as Graves' disease. Thyroid hormone plays an important role in regulation of the basal metabolic rate. These hormones also support the process of red blood cell maturation. Sorry, these hormones also support the process of red blood cell formation. Thyroid hormone controls the metabolism of carbohydrate, proteins, and fats. Maintenance of water and electrolyte balance is also influenced by thyroid hormones. Thyroid gland also secrete a protein called thyrocalcitonin, which regulates the blood calcium level. Parathyroid gland. In human, four parathyroid glands present on the back side of the thyroid gland, one pair each in the two lobes of the thyroid glands, shown in figure 19.3b. The parathyroid gland secretes a peptide hormone called parathyroid hormone PTH. The secretion of PTH is regulated by the circulating level of calcium ions. Parathyroid hormones increase the calcium level in blood. PTH acts on bone and stimulates the process of bone resorption, that is dissolution or demineralization. PTH also stimulates resorption of calcium ions. PTH also stimulates reabsorption of calcium by the renal tubules and increases calcium absorption from digested food. It is thus clear that PTH is a hypercalcemic hormone, that is, it increases the blood calcium levels. Along with TCT, it plays a significant role in calcium balance in the body. Thymus. The thymus gland is a lobular structure located between lungs behind sternum on the ventral side of aorta. The thymus plays a major role in the development of the immune system. This gland secretes the peptide hormone called thymogens. Thymogens plays a major role in the differentiation of T lymphocytes, which provides cell-mediated immunity. In addition to in addition, thymogens also promote production of antibodies to provide humoral immunity. Thymus is degenerated in old individuals, resulting in a decreased production of thymogens. As a result, the immune responses of old persons become weak. Adrenal gland. Our body has one pair of adrenal gland, one above of each kidney, shown in figure 19.4a. The gland is composed of two types of tissues. The centrally located tissue is called adrenal medulla, and the outside this lies the adrenal cortex, shown in figure 19.4b. Underproduction of hormone by the adrenal cortex alters carbohydrate metabolism, causing acute weakness and fatigue, leading to a disease called Addison's disease. This is 19.4 figure. The adrenal medulla secretes two hormones called adrenaline or epinephrine and noradrenaline or norepinephrine. These are commonly called as catecholamines. Adrenaline and noradrenaline are rapidly secreted in response to a stress of any kind and during emergency situations, and are called emergency hormones or hormones of fight or flight. These hormones increase alertness, pupillary dilation, piloerection, that is raising of hairs, sweating, etc. Both of the hormones increases the heartbeat, the strength of heart contraction, and the rate of respiration. Catecholamines also stimulates the breakdown of glycogen, resulting in an increased concentration of glucose in blood. In addition, they also stimulates the breakdown of lipid and proteins. The adrenal cortex can be divided into three layers called zona reticularis, that is inner layer, zona fasciculata, that is middle layer, and zona glomerulosa, that is outer layer. The adrenal cortex secretes many hormones commonly called as corticoids. The corticoids which are involved in carbohydrate metabolism are called glucocorticoids. In our body, cortisol is the main glucocorticoid. Corticoid which regulates the balance of water and electrolyte in our body are called mineralocorticoid. Aldosterone is the main mineralocorticoid in our body. Glucocorticoids stimulate gluconeogenesis, lipolysis, and proteolysis, and inhibit cellular uptake and utilization of amino acids. Cortisol is also involved in maintaining the cardiovascular system as well as the kidney functions. Glucocorticoids, particularly cortisol, produce anti inflammatory reactions and suppress the immune response. Cortisol stimulates the RBC production. Aldosterone acts mainly at the renal tubule and stimulates the reabsorption of sodium ion and water and excretion of potassium and phosphate ions. Thus, aldosterone helps in the maintenance of electrolyte, body fluid volume, osmotic pressure, and blood pressure. Small amount of androgenic steroids are also secreted by the adrenal cortex, which plays a role in the growth of axial hair, pubic hair, and facial hair during puberty. Pancreas. Pancreas is a composite gland shown in figure 19.1 which acts as both exocrine and endocrine gland. The endocrine pancreas consists of islets of Langerhans. There are about 1 to 2 million isolates of Langerhans in a normal human pancreas, representing only 1 to 2% of pancreatic tissue. The two main types of cells in the isolates of Langerhans are called alpha cells and beta cells. Alpha cells secretes a hormone called glucagon, while the beta cell secretes insulin. Glucagon is a peptide hormone and plays an important role in maintaining the normal blood glucose levels. Glucagon acts mainly on the liver cell, that is hepatocytes, and stimulates glycogenolysis, resulting in increased blood sugar, that is hyperglycemia. In addition, these hormones stimulate the process of gluconeogenesis, which also contributes to hyperglycemia. Glucagon reduces the cellular glucose uptake and utilization. Thus, glucagon is a hyperglycemic hormone. Insulin is a peptide hormone which plays a major role in the regulation of glucose homeostasis. Insulin acts mainly on hepatocytes and adipocytes. Adipocytes are cells of adipose tissue and enhance cellular glucose uptake and utilization. As a result, there is a rapid movement of glucose from blood to hepatocytes and adipocytes, resulting in decreased blood glucose level, that is hypoglycemia. Insulin also stimulates conversion of glucose to glycogen, that is glycogenesis, in the target cells. The glucose homeostasis in blood is thus maintained jointly by the two, insulin and glucagons. Prolonged hyperglycemia leads to a complex disorder called diabetes mellitus, which is associated with the loss of glucose through urine and formation of harmful compounds known as ketone bodies. Diabetic patients are successfully treated with insulin therapy. Testis. A pair of testes is present in the scrotal sac outside abdomen of male individuals shown in figure 19.1. Testis performs dual functions as a primary sex organ as well as an endocrine gland. Testis is composed of seminiferous tubules and stromal or interstitial tissue. The Leydig cells or interstitial cells, which are present in the intertubular spaces, produce a group of hormones called androgens, mainly testosterone. Androgens regulate the development, maturation, and function of the male accessory sex organs like epididymis, vas deferens, seminal vesicles, prostate gland, urethra, etc. These hormones stimulate muscular growth, growth of facial and axillary hair, aggressiveness, low pitch of voice, etc. Androgens play a major stimulatory role in the process of spermatogenesis, that is formation of spermatozoa. Androgens act on the central neural system and influence the male sexual behavior. These hormones produce anabolic, that is synthetic effects on protein and carbohydrate metabolism. Ovary. Female have a pair of ovaries located in the abdomen shown in figure 19.1. Ovary is the primary female sex organ which produce one ovum during each menstrual cycle. In addition, ovary also produce two groups of steroid hormones called estrogen and progesterone. Ovary is composed of ovarian follicles and stromal tissues. The estrogen is synthesized and secreted mainly by the growing ovarian follicles. After ovulation, the ruptured follicle is converted to a structure called corpus luteum, which secretes mainly progesterone. Estrogens produce wide-ranging actions such as stimulation of growth and activities of female secondary sex organs, development of growing ovarian follicles, appearance of female secondary sex character, example high pitch of voice, etc., and mammary gland development. Estrogen also regulate female sexual behavior. Progesterone supports pregnancy. Progesterone also acts on the mammary glands and stimulate the formation of alveoli, that is sac-like structure which store milk and milk secretion. Now you know about the endocrine glands and their hormones. However, as mentioned earlier, hormones are also secreted by some tissues which are not endocrine glands. For example, the atrial wall of our heart secretes a very important peptide hormone called atrial natriuretic factor, ANF, which decreases blood pressure. When blood pressure is increased, ANF is secreted, which causes dilation of blood vessels. This reduces the blood pressure. The juxtaglomerular cell of kidney produces a peptide hormone called erythropoietin, which stimulates erythropoiesis, that is formation of RBC. Endocrine cells present in different parts of gastrointestinal tract secretes Four major peptide hormones, namely gastrin, secretin, cholecystokinin, that is CCK, and gastric inhibitory peptide, that is GIP. Gastrin acts on gastric glands and stimulates the secretion of hydrochloric acid and pepsinogen. Secretin acts on the exocrine pancreas and stimulates secretion of water and bicarbonate ions. CCK acts on both pancreas and gallbladder and stimulates the secretion of pancreatic enzyme and bile juice, respectively. GIP inhibits gastric secretion and motility. Several other non-endocrine tissues secretes hormone called growth factors. These factors are essential for the normal growth of tissues and their repairing or regeneration. Mechanism of hormone action. Hormone produce their effect on target tissue by binding to specific proteins called hormone receptors located in the target tissue only. Hormone receptors present on the cell membrane of the target cells are called membrane bound receptors, and the receptors present inside the target cells are called intracellular receptors, mostly nuclear receptors present in the nucleus. Binding of a hormone to its receptor leads to the formation of a hormone receptor complex that is shown in figure 19.5, that is shown in figure 19.5a and b. Each receptor is specific to one hormone only, and hence receptor are specific. Hormone receptor complex formation leads to certain biochemical changes in target tissue metabolism, and hence physiological functions are regulated by hormones. On the basis of their chemical nature, hormone can be divided into groups. First group, peptide, polypeptide, and protein hormones. Example, insulin, glucagon, pituitary hormones, hypothalamic hormones, etc. Second category, steroids. Example, cortisol, testosterone, estradiol, and progesterone. Third category, iodothyronins, thyroid hormones. Fourth category, amino acid derivatives. Example, epinephrine. Hormones which interact with membrane-bound receptors normally do not enter the target cell but generate second messengers. Example, cyclic AMP, IP3, calcium plus plus, etc., which in turn regulate cellular metabolism, shown in figure 19.5a. Hormones which interact with the intercellular receptors, hormone which interact with the intracellular receptors, example steroid hormones, iodothyronins, etc., mostly regulate gene expression or chromosome function by the interaction of hormone receptor complex with the genome. Cumulative biochemical actions result in physiological and developmental effects, shown in figure 19.5b. This is the diagram example of membrane receptor complex. Here, hormone is binding to the receptor which is present on membrane and producing response through generation of second messengers, biochemical response, physiological responses, that is ovarian growth. In the second diagram, that is 19.5b, example of intracellular receptor is shown. That is, the hormone is estrogen which is going inside and interacting with nuclear receptors. Now summary. The important thing is pars distalis produce 6 trophic hormones. You have to learn this. And pituitary hormone regulate the growth and development of somatic tissues and activity of peripheral endocrine gland. Okay, then the thyroid gland hormone plays an important role in the regulation of basal metabolic rate, development and maturation of the central neural system, erythropoiesis, metabolism of carbohydrate, proteins, and fats, menstrual cycle. You have to remember it. And the adrenal medulla secretes epinephrine and norepinephrine. These hormones increase alertness with pupillary dilation, piloerection, sweating, heartbeat, strength of heart contraction, rate of respiration, glycogenolysis, lipolysis, proteolysis. The adrenal cortex secretes glucocorticoids and mineralocorticoids. Glucocorticoids stimulates gluconeogenesis, lipolysis, proteolysis, erythropoiesis, cardiovascular system, blood pressure, and glomerular filtration rate. Then insulin deficiency and or insulin resistance result in disease called diabetes mellitus. The testis secretes androgens which stimulates the development and maturation and function of male accessory sex organs, appearance of male secondary sex character, spermatogenesis, male sexual behavior, anabolic pathways, and erythropoiesis. That's it. Thank you.